changing of guards happening right now. These corporations, these institutions already have so much power without puppeteering our politicians. I know this from first-hand experience. When you're on the House floor and a donor texts you, we're going to remember this next election, you know what that means. And I want you guys to know that I've stood up for you despite all that. The first election, I was outspent 10-1 by the same people that's coming my opponent this year. And despite that all, we got through it, and I still voted with your interest. Now I'm looking at some of my colleagues and I'm like, man, how can they get to that point when they started off like me? This is why. Because when you try to mess with that status quo, they come after you. And it's very disheartening, but I need you guys to help me pull through this, because the new guard that's taking reins this year, I feel, or if not in the very near future, is not the same chemical companies, developers, and old boy lobbyists. It's progressives, it's environmentalists, and social justice advocates. We see the world a little bit differently. We know that we can take the future into our own hands and not depend on mainland corporations just for the interest of jobs. I'm more interested in how they're treating these employees. I have a perfect record on labor issues. As a matter of fact, I was rated by Progressive PAC as the only legislator 10 out of 10. That's the state's most progressive legislator. So when you're agreeing with the unions 100%, but they don't support you, you tend to, ask why. And if you look at the membership of the unions and not necessarily the leadership, you'll see that they want sweeping change too, just like the rest of us. And they're ready to take the power into their own hands. It's just a matter of when is this going to happen and how are we going to make it happen? What's going to happen for people like you? Telling your friends, knocking on doors, sign waving. I was the only legislator in the House to publicly support Senator Bernie Sanders for president. The day after I did that, I had people, leaders in certain unions saying, what's with this guy? If Hillary is good enough for Illinois, he's good enough for me. Like, what does this have to do with your union, your membership? What does opposing the county manager proposal, how does that help these union members? I don't know. It's just, to me, let's just make common sense decisions that's going to help the people and face the consequences. If this means having a tough election like this every 2 years, I'm there, and I'm asking you guys to be there with me.